Windows, Microsoft's golden child that runs on most computers worldwide. It's like the popular kid in school. Everyone knows it, most people use it, but it crashes at the worst possible moments. Windows loves updates so much, it'll restart your computer right in the middle of your important presentation. The blue screen of death is basically Windows having an existential crisis. macOS, Apple's fancy operating system that makes you feel sophisticated just by using it. It's the luxury car of operating systems. Beautiful, expensive, and you can't easily fix it yourself. Everything works perfectly together because Apple controls both the hardware and software. Like a helicopter parent watching over every digital interaction. If you want to customize anything, Apple politely suggests you don't. Linux, the rebellious teenager of operating systems that refuses to conform. It's free, customizable, and loved by programmers who enjoy typing mysterious commands. Into black terminals, Linux has more flavors than an ice cream shop, with names like Ubuntu, Mint, and Fedora. You can make it do absolutely anything. Assuming you have a computer science degree and infinite patience, Android, Google's mobile operating system, that's basically Linux wearing a friendly mask, it runs on everything from phones to smart fridges, because Google wants to know what you're eating for breakfast. Android gives you freedom to customize your phone until it looks like a rainbow exploded on your screen. The Google Play Store has more apps than there are grains of sand, including 47 different flashlight apps.ios. Apple's mobile operating system that treats your phone like a precious artifact in a museum. You can look, but don't touch anything. Apple didn't pre-approve. iOS updates arrive like clockwork, making your old phone slower while promising amazing new features like slightly rounder app icons. Siri pretends to understand you, but mostly just opens random apps when you ask for it. The weather.chrome OS, Google's attempt to convince you that everything should happen in a web browser. It's like living in a house made entirely of windows, very transparent, but you're always connected to the outside world. Chrome OS boots, faster than you can say privacy concerns, and runs beautifully until you lose internet connection and realize you can't do anything. Google basically turned the entire computer into one giant Chrome tab.FreeBSD, the wise old grandfather of operating systems that everybody respects but few people actually use. It's incredibly stable and secure, running quietly in the background. Of many servers and network devices, FreeBSD is what Linux wants to be when it grows up: mature, reliable, and not constantly arguing with itself about which desktop environment to use. Netflix uses it because even streaming services need adult supervision. MS-DOS, the ancient ancestor that started it all. Where TypingDeer was considered advanced user interface design, everything was green text on a black screen. And if you forgot a single character in a command, the computer would mock you with bad command or file name. MS-DOS made you feel like a hacker just for copying files. It's the reason why Windows paths still use backlashes instead of forward slashes like civilized operating systems.Unix, the philosophy professor of operating systems that influenced almost everything that came after it. Unix taught us that programs should do one thing and do it well, like a minimalist lifestyle guru for computers. It spawned more children than a reality TV family, including Linux, macOS, and various BSD systems. Unix systems are still running critical infrastructure worldwide because apparently, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is solid engineering advice. Windows Server. Regular Windows but wearing a business suit and charging enterprise prices. It manages networks, handles databases, and hosts websites while consuming enough electricity to power a small city. Windows Server speaks Active Directory, a language only system administrators understand, and even they're not entirely sure what it means. It's incredibly powerful, but requires a team of specialists to keep it from sulking. Ubuntu, Linux's friendly ambassador trying to convince normal people that command lines aren't scary. Ubuntu holds your hand through installation and pretends package management is fun. It comes with a desktop environment that looks suspiciously like Windows had a baby with Mac OS. Ubuntu releases new versions every 6 months with animal names because apparently Bionic Beaver sounds more approachable than version 18.04, Debian, the serious, no-nonsense parent of Ubuntu, and countless other Linux distributions. Debian values stability over flashy new features, which means your system works reliably, but your software is older than your college textbooks. It's maintained by volunteers who take their responsibility more seriously than nuclear power plant operators. Debian's package manager is so thorough, it probably checks if your software has proper dental hygiene. Red Hat, Enterprise Linux. Linux wearing a three-piece suit and charging consulting fees. Red Hat took free software and convinced corporations to pay for it by adding support contracts and enterprise features. It's like having a Linux distribution with a customer service department that actually answers the phone. Red Hat proved you could make money with open source software without selling your soul to advertising companies. CentOS, Red Hat's free younger sibling that got all the same features but none of the official support. CentOS was perfect for people who wanted enterprise-grade Linux without enterprise-grade prices. Red Hat eventually decided this was too good a deal and killed CentOS, proving that nice things can't last forever. It was the operating system equivalent of a free lunch, and we all know how that usually ends. Fedora, Red Hat's experimental playground, where new Linux features go to prove they won't destroy your computer. Fedora releases cutting-edge software every 6 months, which is exciting until something breaks and you're Googling error messages at 2 a.m. It's named after the hat company, which is appropriate because you need to tip your hat to anyone brave enough to run the latest unstable software in production. Fedora users are basically beta testers who volunteer for digital punishment. OpenSUS, Germany's contribution to Linux that's more organized than a Swiss watch factory. OpenSUS comes with YesT, a control panel that lets you configure absolutely everything through a graphical interface, which is cheating according to hardcore Linux users. It has 2 versions, Leap for people who want stability, and Tumbleweed for people who enjoy living dangerously. OpenSUSE proves that German engineering applies to software too. Arch Linux, the DIY furniture kit of operating systems that comes with no instructions and expects you to figure everything out yourself. Arch users install their system from scratch, compiling everything by hand like digital blacksmiths, forging their perfect computing experience. The Arch Wiki is more comprehensive than some encyclopedias and twice as intimidating. Using Arch Linux is like climbing Mount Everest. Unnecessarily difficult, but you get bragging rights forever. Gentoo, Arch Linux's even more extreme cousin that makes you compile everything from source code. Gentoo users spend more time compiling software than actually using it, but they swear their system runs 0.3% faster. It's the operating system equivalent of building a car from individual atoms. Gentoo appeals to people who think Arch Linux is for casual users, and weekends are for kernel compilation parties. Kali Linux, the hacker movie operating system that makes you look like you're breaking into the Pentagon just by opening a terminal. Kali comes preloaded with every penetration testing tool known to humanity, most of which are completely illegal to use without permission. It's popular with security professionals, ethical hackers, and teenagers who want to impress their friends. Kali Linux, because nothing says professional security consultant like a desktop wallpaper of a dragon skull. Tails, the paranoid person's operating system that forgets everything when you turn it off. Tails routes all internet traffic through Tor, uses heavy encryption, and leaves no traces on your computer. It's designed for journalists, activists, and people who really don't want anyone knowing they still use Internet Explorer. Tails is what you use when you need an operating system with commitment issues and trust. Problems Reactos, the ambitious project trying to recreate Windows from scratch without Microsoft's permission or blessing. Reactos aims to run Windows software perfectly while being completely open source, which is like trying to build a McDonald's that serves identical food but calls itself something else. It's been in development since 1996 and might be ready for daily use by 2096. Reactos developers have the persistence of saints and the optimism of lottery players. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment, or all 3. Either way, thanks for watching.